Hey everybody, I am Cameron, and this is Harley. He apparently wanted to be featured in this video too. A few months ago, I made a video saying that I was going to start making videos, and I apparently lied about that, and I am very sorry, but here I am. So maybe I didn't lie. I didn't say when I was going to start, so please don't blame me. I'm sorry. Before I get started onto these videos, I have a few disclaimers. Disclaimer number one, I am not a professional. I don't have professional equipment, and I do not have professional lighting. I do not have professional sound. They are all going to be messed up, and I apologize. I don't have the money to buy new equipment, so this is going to have to do. If I'm not using this, I'll be using my phone. So either way, it's going to be crap, and you're probably all going to hate me, so I'm sorry. I also said in my original video that I was going to do a quick Q&A. I don't know if this is going to be quick, and I'm not going to be able to blast through a bunch of those questions that everybody asked. Because some of them are so complex, I might have to just focus on one a video, which will at least get me started on these videos. So I'm really sorry. If you did ask a question, I will get to them eventually. They may not be immediately. Next, I do not by any means speak for the entire trans non-binary community. I am one person within this huge community, and everything I say does not stand with every person in this community. I feel like everybody should know that, but just in case, I wanted to make sure to make that known. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. Question number one was, when did I know that I was non-binary? That is a huge question, which is why I am only going to focus on that question in this video. Because, when did I know? There were so many puzzle pieces that I have been collecting and collecting over the years that finally put together the puzzle that was my non-binary identity. So, we're going to talk about all of those pieces right now. Alright, so piece one starts way back when I was just a little kid, and I was choosing what toy to play with. Now, I am not a firm believer in the fact that toys should be gendered, because I think that that just pushes us into more boxes and social constructs that we just don't need. We don't need them. If a boy wants to play with Barbies and a girl wants to play football, let them. Let them do what makes them happy. You do not want to keep suppressing their joys and their happiness, because that is how you get children who are depressed and suicidal and just keep trying to stay alone because they fear trying to make friendships because the things that they like aren't viewed as normal. We can't do that. But that's a different part and possibly a different video. The way society works right now, that would have been the first little check mark on my non-binary journey. I did not like Barbie dolls. I did not want to have tea parties. I did not want to get my nails done, my hair cut, unless it was short. And I hated everything that I was supposed to enjoy as a girl. I wanted to play with those little finger skateboards, my dinosaur sets, my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures, my Power Ranger action figure. I played sports. I didn't care about getting dirty. In fact, if I did not come home covered in mud, blood, sweat, I did not have a good time. And my mom hated it. She hated everything about it, because she had to do my laundry. But those things were never associated with girls. To like those things separated me already. When all the girls hung out, they went and did their thing. Their thing did not involve the things that I wanted to be doing. They would go, they would dance. I hate dancing. I hate it with a passion. What I want to be doing, I want to be playing flag football. Better yet, I want to be playing tackle football, but I can't because I'm a fragile girl. You know, the type of fragile girl who's supposed to wear sleeves that stop right here shorts that come up past your mid-thigh. But guess what? You can't wear those shorts at school. They're the only ones you can find at Walmart, JCPenney, or any store ever in the girls section. But you can't wear them because your fingertips go past them, and that's inappropriate for school. I hated those clothes. I hated that the only colors in the girls section included purple or pink. I liked green. I liked blue. I liked black. You aren't finding that in the girls section. You're finding that in the boys section, where they have full sleeves and legs that actually cover your legs. You can find a shirt with a dinosaur or a superhero, and it didn't have to be a princess who fell in love with a boy, or sparkles and glitter. I am not a sparkles and glitter person. I'm not. Where can I go to get clothes that aren't sparkles and glittered? Boys section. That's where I had to go. That's where I want to go. That's where I could go try on clothes, and I felt most like me. I felt like everybody could look at me and see the things that I enjoy, whether it be sports, superheroes, dragons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hot Wheel cars, Power Rangers. I found that in the boys section, the section that made me feel most me. Then it didn't stop there. It didn't just stop with clothes. I didn't go into the boys section, get happy, and then that was it. Because then society said, well, everything that you like isn't what you're supposed to like. You're not supposed to like any of those things. You should be in the girls section wearing these clothes. And since you're not, what's going on? Oh, you must be a tomboy. You must be a tomboy. That's the only thing that can explain why you like these things. Do you have brothers at home? Do you just only hang out with your dad? Like, what's wrong with you? Only a question that the world asked me, but one that I asked myself regularly. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just go get my nails painted? Why, when they're painted, am I not happy? Why don't I like the color pink? What did pink ever do to me? Glitter? What's wrong with it? Like, what is wrong? Why don't I like these things? Slowly after all of that, I realized that when I was wearing boys' clothes, that's when I was the happiest. And my parents were cool with it, because I could get away with. I play sports, so I wear basketball shorts, I wear sweatpants, I wear t-shirts and baggy hoodies, and I wear my hair up in a ponytail, and sometimes I'll wear a hat, sometimes I won't, sometimes I'll have a bandana, sometimes I won't. But those things were all things that made me happier than if I would have had my hair down and straight, makeup on, with skinny jeans and a halter top or something. Like, those weren't things that made me happy. So I realized that when I was dressing more masculine, I felt more like me. I got a little older, and all the guys that I was hanging out with and I surrounded myself with because we enjoyed the same things started getting crushes, and they were on girls. And I didn't really understand that it was wrong for me to also have crushes on girls. You know, wrong, like everything else society viewed that I enjoyed. I liked girls. What is going on? I had no idea. And for a while, I played it off as I just wanted to fit in. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. I wrote notes to myself from a fake girl that I made up. I made all the boys jealous because I had this girl who was perfect. Absolutely perfect. She was made up. Played that off as just my way to fit in with the guys. We used to run around out in the backyard at my grandma's house, my house, topless in our diapers and then our shorts, and then I was told I couldn't run around topless anymore. But why? They could. Why couldn't I? What was different? Why was I different than them? What's going on? Like, we're having fun. They're playing, I'm playing, it's hot out here. This is making me hotter. Why can't I take my shirt off? I used to. Then we got to birthday parties. I was invited to a lot of guys' birthday parties when I was younger because those were my friends. That's who I hung out with at recess. That's who I hung out with outside of school. I mean, I got invited to girls' birthday parties too because I was still in Girl Scouts and sports, and all of those included other girls. But at the boys' birthday parties, when we would go skating or we would go swimming, I didn't get to wear shorts like them, and I didn't get to look like them, and I had to wear a shirt if we went swimming, and I didn't get it. But then it came to sleepovers, where that night all the really close friends would get to stay, but I wouldn't get to because I'm not a boy. I'm a girl, and girls can't stay over with boys because that's not how it works. I'll never forget how heartbroken I was to find out I couldn't go to the sleepover part of my friend's birthday party. All the things I was going to miss out on, and for what? Somehow I was different, but I don't know why. We like all the same things. We talk about all the stuff that normal kids talk about. We caught bugs and we played. We played, but I can't stay there. And I was crushed, so crushed, that I stopped hanging out with the guys because it made me feel even worse than when I was hanging out with the girls. So I pretended to enjoy things I didn't really enjoy so I could make friends and I could fit in, at least to an extent that I didn't feel as isolated as I did that day. But that didn't work either. And then, for the first time in my entire life, I finally talked my parents into cutting my hair short. They finally let me. And it was more out of, she's gonna hate this, so let's do it, so she'll just stop asking. They were sort of right. I didn't hate it because of what it looked like. I hated it because then we'd be in the girls' bathroom and people would look at me funny. I would walk in alone while my parents were at a table at a restaurant, and I would be told I was in the wrong one. I was in 7th grade, and people were picking on me in bathrooms and making fun of me at school, calling me words that I still hate to this day. And for what? Like, what did that accomplish? I have no idea. I don't know if it made you feel better, for those of you out here who have done it, but it definitely didn't make me feel better, and I can guarantee that nobody that has ever been in my shoes felt good about those things either. For the first time in my life, somebody was saying, "You're a boy. You fit in with the boys because you look like one and you act like one." And for me, that felt really comfortable. What didn't feel comfortable is when my mom looked devastated. She looked like, oh, I wish she would have been wearing earrings or a skirt today because now she's being called this. Or when somebody felt they needed to jump in and protect me. Or when a teacher was doing roll call and they called out Brittany and I raised my hand and he said, "What? I thought you were a boy." And the whole class laughs because, haha, that's hilarious. And for a minute, I felt good. Like, you thought I was a boy? Like, I looked like a boy to you? But then I realized, that's weird. That's weird, because everybody else is laughing. Everybody thinks this is funny. I don't really think it's funny, but now I'm uncomfortable. Now I don't want to be called that. So, I grew my hair out. I kept the same haircut all the way through school. Up until just a little bit ago, that haircut was the same. I didn't necessarily still dress femininely, but I always made sure to have eyeliner on and my hair down and straight. Coping mechanisms. They were the best way that I could come up with fitting into society, at least enough to be acceptable. And then my sexuality got too much. My realization that I liked girls came quick and extremely fast, and there was nothing that I could do about it. I tried. That year, I dated like 15 different guys. Almost every 2 weeks, there was someone new because something was wrong. I didn't know what, or I did, and I did not want to accept it. It didn't last long. I came out. I came out as a lesbian because that's what I knew. And then it all made sense to everyone, because that's what lesbians, stereotypically, that's what they are. They dress like men. They act like men. They enjoy manly things. And that's where I fit comfortably for a while, because that was a good identity. It was identity that explained everything to everyone. No questions asked. Oh, she's gay. Makes sense. I was happy there for a while. I could express myself in a way that I wanted to, a way that made me feel comfortable being me. And my sexuality wasn't completely understood, especially not in the small town that I was from. Not by my parents, not by the rest of my family, and not by the community. There were people that I didn't even know writing things about me on silos, because that was the cool thing to do. You spray painted silos. And I guess that made them feel better. I guess it made them look cool. I don't know. No means saying that I had a terrible experience, because somehow I had a great experience compared to some people that I do know. There are so many things that kids do to other children when they do not understand what they are going through. Something that we have to change. You have to get educated. You have to educate your children, and you have to ensure that they are not the kids that are picking on kids because they're different. A little bit of a tangent that I could probably go on for a while. Which then leads me to when lesbian stopped really feeling like me. Like, I like girls, but am I one? Am I also one? I don't know. Do I feel like a boy? I like boy things, and I put off an appearance like I'm a boy. But do I feel like a boy? If I was a boy, would I be happier? I mean, my entire life would have been much easier. Much easier if I would have been a boy. But would I be happier if I was a boy? Which then got me to questioning, if I changed my name and people said he, would that make me feel better? Better than hearing she and Brittany. I'm still not 100% sure if that's the case. And that's alright. That doesn't invalidate my identity by any means. But I don't know if he is any better for me than she. And I did change my name to Cameron. And I much rather enjoy hearing that than Brittany. But for me, that name feels better because it's not super feminine. It isn't pushing me in either direction, and I can be me and not worry about either box because I'm just me. Whether that be she or he or neither or both, I am me. And I'm not sure either side makes me feel good. I'm well aware that if I transitioned and I identified fully as male, and I presented fully as male, that there would still be those boxes that people would say, no, wait, you're a little too sensitive. You talk with your hands, so that's pretty feminine. You laugh a little too hard. You cry? Guys don't cry. And I know that. And I don't think those are boxes that I want to try to fit in again. Like, I'm happy with being in the middle. Which brought me to my non-binary identity. My entire life, I didn't even know that gender and sex were different because we don't teach those things, because that takes us out of those boxes. It changes and it shakes things up a little too much for society to handle. But nothing has changed. These people have been here. Trans people, non-binary people, gender non-conforming, they've existed forever. They were either too scared to say anything, or when they did, they were killed for it. I wish that those things were not still happening, but they are. And that is why education is so important. You have to do research, and you have to keep learning, because new things are being discovered every day, or old things are finally getting labels. I didn't know the term non-binary existed, and if I did, I would have been able to say I was non-binary when I was 4. I am so happy that there are things today that can help kids feel like they belong, that even though they're different than this girl or this guy or this boy or whoever, that they are still valid, that they aren't weird, they're not abnormal, and we have to stop treating them like they are. Suicide rates in transgender children are incredibly high. And it's not just because they're trans. Suicide rates are high because they are taught that they are not normal. They are taught that the things that they love, they shouldn't love. They're taught that they're different because they love them. They're taught that they can't love them. They're taught that the world will hate them. They're taught that if they act like how they feel, they could be killed. That's why I was silent. It's why I was scared of liking girls. It's why I was scared that I was different. I didn't want to be different. When I came out as a lesbian, one of the first things my parents said to me was, "Brittany, this world is cruel. And if you like girls and you date girls, you could get hurt." And they didn't mean that she was going to break up with me and I was going to have a heartbreak like everyone goes through. They meant there was going to be someone out there who would see me holding hands with another girl and want me dead. And I know, things are better now. Things are better. Gay marriage is legal. Those things don't exist anymore. We'll pretend that that's the case. But trans individuals are going through the exact same thing. It's not always the fear of them being trans. It's the fear of what's going to happen to them when they are. For a while, that fear kept me hidden. That fear kept me from going to events like Pride. And that fear kept me from holding my girlfriend's hand or telling my parents I even had one. Or sharing my love with the world, to the world. Because I was scared. I was scared. But then I decided people are going to stare at me in the bathrooms anyways. People are going to judge me for how I look, for how I dress, for the things I love, always. They always have, and they always will. So I dove headfirst into the community. I was at Pride. I've never missed one since. I post non-stop about issues, and I try to bring awareness to things for a reason. Not because I'm trying to push my beliefs on anyone, but because these children need the awareness to be spread. It wasn't good for me, and it wasn't good for the people before me. It's getting better, but we can always keep improving. There are lives that have to be saved. There are so many things that we can do. And being in the community and seeing all the things happening to these people and me hiding who I am and my gender identity stopped being an option. So that's why I came out when I did. I could have come out a long time ago, and no one would have been surprised. No one that knew me would have been surprised. They would have been worried, and they would have been upset because of that worry. Or because they didn't understand. But that's why it had to happen now. And that's when I fully realized there was no way I could hide who I am. So, I am Cameron Quinn Corbin, a transgender, non-binary human who is finally happy in the skin that they are in. That's all I have for you this time, guys. Be sure to check out my next video when it comes out. I'm hoping that it will not take as long as it did this time. Thank you so much.